Good morning, everybody. It's BDF44 coming at you. A little frustrated about some things going on. Obviously, everyone is aware of the shootings that took place in El Paso, Dayton. There was another one in Chicago at a park where multiple people were shot, all in a matter of like probably 10 hours. Got to do something, man. I made a video last night. 10 people were nice enough to watch it. I deleted it because it was all over the place. I didn't really have a point in mind, and a lot of what I said was just misspeaking. And while doing so, when talking about basketball or different things is fine, but when you're discussing something as important as mass shootings, I would like to at least listen back to what I'm saying and follow it coherently. And then last night I was just all over the place with my frustration. So I deleted that. But for those of you who watched it and saw what I had to say, I hope the message was conveyed properly, and I thank you for supporting me in any way that you do. What I want to do though is just discuss what I think needs to happen now, in regards to us as a society taking a look at a few things that we deal with and we accept, but things that are shouldn't be acceptable. And one of them is it's so many, man. I don't even want to pinpoint anything. At this point, I just want to say condolences to anybody who was affected by any of these shootings. That's the most important thing. People are fighting for their lives. People have lost their lives. People are mourning. So, if anything, follow your heart when trying to figure out what's best for you in regards to the things that you believe in. If what you're doing and what you believe in separates people, it's trying to preserve yourself by annihilating others. If you believe that hate speech is fine and that it doesn't carry any consequences of that, the things that we indulge in, that we enjoy certain parts, aspects of our society, may contribute to some of these instances, may even contribute to why someone would feel as frustrated as they are to attempt things like this when they're mentally ill or deranged or just been fed evil for an embedded amount of time. When it comes to these type of moments and these type of things, you just want solutions, and the solution is to anticipate them ahead of time, to get laws in place, to view human beings on one accord, so that some who are a certain way aren't more meaningful to your society than others. So now those are the type of things we just need to do in our own homes, and continue to try to raise our children to think, to feel, and to speak out, but also to be mindful of what it is that they're saying when they do, and how important it is to convey messages that don't trigger others into wanting to act out through aggression and through hatred and through anger. You know, I can sit up here and say a bunch of stuff that I feel badly about, but I also know that I'm going to go back into my regular world and my regular lifestyle and not act out heinous crimes in response to my frustration. I can't guarantee that everyone I speak to or anyone who will click on my rhetoric will feel the same way and will have that same discipline, restraint, care for life, etc. Some people, yeah, you can talk to them and tell them your frustrations, but you don't know how they're going to react to those frustrations if they end up feeling the same way you do, or end up feeling your frustration and then pledging a loyalty to you that doesn't align itself with the things that you would want done in your name. That kind of stuff can happen. We just got to be mindful of that if we're going to speak out in whatever way we decide to. I think hate speech is wrong, but as I said in my deleted video, I do believe that because I have a voice and I like to express myself, and I appreciate the right to do so, I think it's a very dangerous and slippery slope when thinking about trying to silence others. But I do believe that certain speech is just toxic, and we need to find a way to purge the actions of sick individuals from our society and from the society of this world. And in general, we have to find a way to combat this stuff as best we can. And I think one way to do that is just being mindful of what is being put out there, regardless of what it is that you believe in or what it is that you value. at the end of the day, if the wrong person hears your message, it can be bad. It can be very bad. So let's just be mindful of that, and be also aware that, of course, I say this more so as a reminder to myself. I'm sure all of you realize this, but not everybody's going to care. Not everybody's going to want to see people succeed. Some of these people want things like this to take place, and that's why the silence conversation needs to be had. I don't know that you could just blanketly silence people and think that that's going to work well. I know that I see a great deal of bias when I see entities such as Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. The things that they don't allow people to say, the things that they deem as toxic, from my perspective, tends to cater to the just maybe one side of who may be offended. You know, it seems like they really cater to only a certain aspect of people that they feel will make an uproar in their direction and affect things for them if they get offended. They don't really care about offending everyone. They just want to make sure they don't offend the people that can affect them in their majority, in their bottom line. So I don't appreciate that. And if anybody who has noticed the same unbiased way of censoring individuals, if anybody has noticed an unbias in that, you're not alone. But at the same time, it's like I understand the importance of trying to at least filter certain things that are said, because it's just toxic. Some stuff is just toxic. It doesn't matter which side it comes from. If it's a certain energy that's conveyed, if it catches the wrong person, it could prompt them to do some of the worst things. And I've said this as well in the video that I deleted. I think this is an important point. A lot of the stuff that we like, music, video games, all that, we hate people who enjoy those things, including myself. We hate saying that it's because of these things that people are prompted to do things like that. But in that same breath, we're quick to point out why we think people do things like that, and we exclude ourselves. We exclude the things that we enjoy. This takes me back to the same point I just made. Just because you can react to a certain thing and you can handle a certain thing in a way without, going out and doing something irrational and doing something violent, does not necessarily mean that everyone can digest things that way. And as a playlist curator, I'm trying to be even more so aware of that with the music that I choose to put on my playlist and the arrangement of the songs and how certain things make me feel. I'd imagine I can handle my feelings in this way, but maybe certain people, won't be able to. Maybe if this song is played, it'll prompt them to feel a certain way. I didn't make the music. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I feel a responsibility to that. So for those of us who are out there making games, making music, making art forms that people can feed off of, understand that there is consequences to the wrong person being exposed to your art. As there's great reward for the right people to be exposed to it. There's a lot that can come from it in terms of inspiration and positivity. But when you put negative stuff out there and violent stuff out there, yeah, the wrong person may get a hold of it. We cannot just sweep that notion under the rug just because it doesn't cater to what it is that we believe can affect us and the people that we believe in and the minds that we believe in. But for those of us who are out here who are not as well, who are not mentally sound, or who haven't been spoken to in such a way to help us understand how to value life and how not to take it upon ourselves to use what we believe in as a means of trying to save the world ourselves. I think a lot of times people in these situations, they think they're saving the world. You know what I mean? So for those of us who know better than to take art forms in that way, I don't think we can really make the determination of whether or not someone else can be affected by those things that do not affect us that way. I can't definitively say someone didn't listen to a rap lyric and decide they wanted to behave a certain way or do certain things. I can't effectively say that someone didn't play Call of Duty and then decided, this is a great way of getting my message out by going ahead and doing this. Maybe they didn't literally write their plan from watching the game, but having a controller in their hand, shooting people 7-8 hours a week or even more, whatever, what have you, it certainly can't help. You know what I mean? If a person's trying to figure out how to tactically attack some stuff, you are giving them a blueprint of how to do it in these art forms. So I think that it's misguided, and I think it's irresponsible for the rest of society who isn't affected by those things to say, oh yeah, no, that there's no way you can blame the music. There's no way you can blame the art forms. I think it's inclusive, as well as hate speech, as well as certain other aspects of our society that maybe we have some hold on. We're just not looking at it properly. We're not attacking it properly to see that we find a solution to these things. And when you're collecting data and you're doing all kinds of stuff to try to learn how to control consumers, collect data also to figure out how to keep people from losing their sense of humanity. You know what I mean? If you really want to do some good out there, figure out how to keep people from acting out in such ways. You know, try to help society in that way instead of just learning how to take money from people. You know, that would be my request for all who are in position to receive that. Do more. I think it starts with art. It starts with corporations. It starts with those with massive amounts of power. To look down at a situation where a bunch of little people are doing crazy stuff and just say, yo, I can affect this in a positive way. Maybe I should try to use my power to do that. I think that would help in the long run with the view, your image, whatever image you want to portray. It would certainly help if you put a drop in the right bucket. That's just my request for those who would be in a position to receive that. But anyway, stop killing each other if you can. I know that's like an open-ended statement, but it would help a lot if we just start looking at each other in ways of saying, you know what, we can find solutions to this without annihilating one another. We can find solutions to our concerns without taking it upon ourselves to do so. I think that's a very important part of what I want to say. After reading the manifesto that the individual who shot up the Walmart in El Paso, after reading his manifesto, I've come to terms that he believed some things I don't believe, and took it upon himself to save the world in the way that he felt it could be saved. Misguided, riddled in ignorance, riddled in hatred, riddled in Trumpisms, what have you. It is what it is. The guy's a super Trump supporter, and just like I said about anything else, maybe it won't affect you that way. Maybe when you hear certain rhetoric, it doesn't affect you in a way that makes you want to kill up a bunch of people, but somebody does feel that way. So while you're out there spewing what you spew and believing what you believe in terms of separating others, there's consequences. And those consequences are not pretty. You know, I can send thoughts and prayers, but that ain't enough. There has to be conversations like this taking place all over so that people understand, hey, this is affecting everybody. This affects your bottom line too. You know, it could be your daughter at one of these functions one day. It could be your son at one of these places one day. It could be you that they shooting at, trying to purge the world of whatever they feel needs to be cleansed. We got to be responsible with our voices. That starts with myself, ends with you. But we got to be responsible. We have to understand. Last but not least, because I'm running out of time, automatic weapons, I've said it before, do not belong in the hands of regular citizens. I shouldn't be able to buy an AK at Walmart for $900, bro. No. That's all I got to say, man. BDF, rest in peace to those who lost their lives in those events. I'm praying for you. Peace.